Let's see, project manager. Okay. Okay. All right. So I'm just going to walk through a couple things in Notion, and feel free if there's somewhere that you have a question to just interject and we'll kind of go over it. Currently, we're working on updating the marketing projects. I think we've told you guys that, but literally that's what I'm going to do the next 2 days while the boys are out and try to get that all dialed in. So I just wanted to show you what it's going to look like. We'll go into Blokes. So the things that we added, we are still doing the account updates here. This shouldn't be synced, we'll fix that. And then, so we're adding these account notes. And so for Adam, sorry guys. Sorry. What is going on? Dial pad should be stopped. No, he's calling me. Okay. Weird.
Just quit out of.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry. And so within this account notes for Adam, we created a strategy tab, and this will allow him to have the notes here within the strategy, and then any kind of past strategy notes that we've had. So this will help for him as well as any kind of report. So if he wants to refer to that, we'll go back. I found that to be really beneficial. And then we'll have reports, and we'll do monthly, quarterly. I will help populate this as we keep moving forward. And meetings here and resources. One thing I want to just point out too, within resources, we have like the frequent ones that we're actively using, but also all. This kind of shows a lot more. I know I've had a few people ping me about things, so just keep that in mind when you have the different views. Tasks, we set it up to where we have different view filters for recurring, all task, and archive, meaning just so they're not all showing. And then for add assets, all assets by status in use, and we can move those across in this Kanban board. Add messaging, we'll start to help populate this, but the reason why we like this is because it's going to pull from their marketing dashboard that we all work in to pull to the client dashboard. So then they can use it and approve it. And eventually we're going to start training, more clients and have more, frequent conversations. I think just to keep a note, we probably should do set up Kate and walk her through that because she's been pretty active with us. So I think that'll be a good one to test out. And then contacts. I wanted to cover notes too, because that was something Jared wanted to point out, and he has a few ideas here, but we have like hub notes, so like team activity notes. Let me open this up.
Yeah, so moving forward, guys, not this month. Once we have all the dashboards set up, we'll let you guys know, but that show them where they actually put notes. This will be where you put in your account activity notes, or no, go to no hubs, and then go to team activity notes. Open it up, then go to the bottom. So instead of doing, going in each one of your strat docs or whatever else, we'll start putting in these account activity notes. This will be helpful for reporting. Just have everything in one place. We'll meet with you guys and get everyone's feedback on these before we push this live. For now, continue doing what you're doing.
Yeah, because I know CJ, when we talked about this, you said you like it being in one doc, so maybe we can get with Jared and figure out a way to have all those notes in one place specifically for you. So
go back to the note stuff. Just the last page you're on.
This one, right? Or
Yeah,
this,
yeah,
yeah.
Blokes marketing. So then, yeah, showing the filters here. So guys, this in general is really just supposed to be used for general account notes. So we'll have each one of the services listed. And so this is like something that the client reached out to me, said that they're going to have a provider pause in May for certain states. And so I provided his email of what we're doing, and this is just something I'll add as a task eventually once I have feedback from the client on what exactly we want to do. But I want to make a note of it in here for you guys. So that's, general. If you have just like a general note, you can either, create something. So go ahead and, create a new note right now. So if you just do new, just do a test. And then you can even, instead of opening it up at all, right? You don't need to say it's just like a quick, say it's just something quick. You can just go ahead and put that note right there. And then we can see who added it, when it was last edited, and then the most recent notes will stack accordingly in descending order. So,
and also for tags too, depending on what it is. I mean, yeah, general, but there is this option within this view.
Yeah, so if you tag it as general and programmatic, so go ahead and do that, and then show them. So then now if you go to the programmatic section in the notes, that would show up there
as well.
So show them the 4 more.
Yes.
So in there, we'll try to set this up for every account where we have each service listed, and then we can just make general notes. There'll be an archive as well. So if there's notes in here that are like, all right, these are old, we can archive them and put them somewhere else. You can look at all department notes overall. So this will sift it out by each task or each tag. So you can kind of just see things at a higher level. So yeah, we have those set up on like half of the marketing dashboards right now. The rest will be set up in the next week or so.
And I will say, as I'm going through this, we have to customize the filter options here. So like this is Blokes. So if for some reason you're seeing it pull notes from, Ideal Meats, just ping me and let me know, and I'll do my best to like go through and make sure it's all cleaned up. But I mean, that's just going to be part of it, is because what we're doing is we're copying this and then putting it into the other ones that aren't updated and then just changing the filters accordingly. So, I mean, it's a given that we might miss something. So, but that's, I think, this new part that you're really wanting to push and show.
Yeah.
All right. And then the next thing I wanted to do was to show you guys how to do actually assign a task to somebody. So let's go down here to tasks. And I don't want you guys to feel intimidated too. The only thing is like, don't change any of the filter properties. But if you go in here and do new, it's going to be in there. As you see, someone else already created one and it's just sitting in there. And we, as Jared and I or Adam, or even if you feel comfortable enough, you can go in and just delete that. But don't feel, I know sometimes looking at Notion, it can be a little intimidating. So, and also if you want any like walkthroughs, I'm more than happy to do videos or set up a time with you to go through Notion if you have questions or just want, a little bit more hands-on training. But say, let's do a task. So we'll test it. And then depending on the type, you have your different reporting. So say we need to do a web maintenance. We would come down here. Okay. Okay, so he's telling me to start with the templates. So this is very important. So down here, depending on what type of task it is, if you need to request something, a one-time ad, creative, anything.
So yeah, the majority of the ones that you guys will be using are in the top. So I listed the top used ones. So say we had a general web request, we can go ahead and click that. It's going to go ahead and put this together. We have the notes, so we want to put the to-do, right? And then we want to put any notes, resources, links, files, whatever you guys need to let Tristan or Adam know. And if it's a web maintenance request, it's going to be assigned to Tristan. Unless, you talk to someone, they're like, oh, actually, Lazio is the one who worked on that site, or Pierre is the one who worked on that site, and you would change that responsibility.
And then
So then, yeah, you could just make that web maintenance, and then you could put a responsibility.
I'm just gonna do me, just so it doesn't mess with anyone. But yeah, for web maintenance, like you said, it would be
The
Tristan.
DUE date, the due date is obviously important.
Yes,
And then that will show up in their personal dashboard then. You want to make sure the marketing project and or web project is selected, and then we should be good to go. So now go ahead and delete this one, go back out.
I did want to just reiterate,
Okay.
so with due, that's your hard due date, and then due is for your personal, like, I want to make sure I give myself enough time, or I have Thursday open, so you can set it there. So this will actually tell you when it's like you're late, but that's your personal due date.
So yeah, let's do just like a general request of like, all right,
Let's go back out. Let's go to Blokes.
delete that.
Yeah, I will.
And create a new one.
Get down here, where are you? Okay. Tasks in the test. Right there.
So then now let's run through like, all right, we gotta create a task of like, say the account management team needs to have someone on the ads team change a budget. So I would just go down to templates. I would put general request.
General task.
General task, sorry. General task at the top. I would just fill in, Blokes needs to change the ad budget and exclude these dates. I would put in notes and resources below, like a client email or any, files that I have. I would go back up. I would then fill this out. I would say Blokes, and this is important because on our personal dashboards, we don't always see the marketing project, whatever else. So make sure that you label like the client name.
Yeah, the naming
in one
convention.
form or fashion on these tasks. So then you put Blokes, change budget for Google search.
Task.
I would put the task type in as Google search. I would put responsibility as CJ or Andrew. Hold on, probably.
Okay, I'm just gonna
Yeah,
just do me because I don't want to mess with anyone.
yeah.
And
And
then-
then I put the due date.
And then if you do want to add any notes, that does allow them to see in like the table view, just a quick look at it as well.
Yeah, so you set the due date.
2 days.
You have the marketing project tied to it, and then everything's good to go. So then that'll show up in their personal dashboards, that'll show up in the Blokes dashboard, and then on our Monday meetings, we'll review all those to make sure we're not overdoing any of those tasks. So any questions on creating tasks? I think in general, that's kind of the missing piece here is getting everyone to take the information, create tasks, put it in the system, all that good stuff. So
Yeah, and I wanted to
does
show
anyone-
you
Does
here.
anyone have questions on creating tasks? Okay.
So I wanted to show you here. Is it not showing the right tab? Show this tab instead. Okay. So yeah, I wanted to show you here. So since we did just create that task, if you go into your personal dashboard, it should then populate here all my tasks. And as you can see, like those are my scheduled, and then these are ones that are my recurring, and then these are scheduled. And then you also have different view options. I thought we set that up.
For me.
Oh, okay. So that's something I'll mimic. I'll update that across the board for everybody. But it should allow you then to see if it's a recurring task, if it's, let's see, we can archive the completed, but we'll add that. But then that allows you to see within your dashboard without having to go to each individual project and see what is your tasks or something that's been assigned to you.
Let's walk back through the resources.
Okay.
Kind of making sure we're
I don't
not
want to go
resources.
to, yes. I want to show you guys Kate Mahler. We had,
Show them the client dashboard and theirs.
Okay.
Show them this one first and then show them the client dashboard, how it all ties in.
okay. So with Kate, we were lucky enough to get a lot of information from her before she actually signed as a client. And so I put those notes in here. She had a bunch of emails from Social SEO. And I wanted to let you guys know that if you get an email with like something like that, you can add those files, and then that file actually will be stored over here. And one thing that's nice about Notion is it seems to be unlimited storage. And so if you want to download it and then upload it into here, that's fine. Or if you want to do a drive link, you can do that as well. But yeah, I just want to show you guys that for resources. And what is nice about this is we have frequent resources, which is, the client workbook, or if we have the Google Share folders, when what we're trying to do is tie it into their client dashboard. Let me pull this up real fast. And I think with her, it'll be a really great, a learning experience to really have, because I think she'll be really hands-on with it. So we'll get a lot of feedback. And so here for the client dashboard, if she wants to make any notes as saying like, I need to make this change, it will show up here, as well as, it will then also show up under this client. So this is client requests. So depending on where you're at, and you might not, well, most people
That'll be on the client dashboard. So the client dashboard, or the client will make those requests, and that's where they'll be.
Yes, exactly.
You don't need to worry about that, other than just looking at them.
Well, I just want to let them know that that's where it was at. And then that just allows them to see the contacts, and then resources. This is things that she can add in there. So like adding this promotion calendar for us with the link, or link to the doc. Oh, am I not sharing the right tab? Sorry, my computer only makes me share one tab at a time, which is weird. Let's see, I'll have to go back here. Oh. We'll figure this out.
So is that correct that the Kate jewelry place, she has access to her Notion board and she's going to start collaborating on that?
Yes, exactly. And I think that'll really be helpful during the ad creative process, and to be able to get feedback without, it'll all be there for everyone to see. Because sometimes certain,
It's gonna take us a while to get clients trained up on it, but yeah, that's the goal.
And I think with her though, because she is new and we've got this set in place, I think it'll be a really good test, and to see how she likes it and how we can make it work best across the team. We'll have their reports here, and then any kind of assets. So this is nice, because then this.
So yeah, I just want to point out, like, all of this is then tied into the marketing dashboard itself, right? So this is the client dashboard, and then we have our own marketing project / dashboard for her. And a lot of this is tied back and forth. So again, eventually we're going to get to the point where everything we have, the client can then see, go in here and approve all that good stuff. So.
Oh gosh. Sorry guys.
So yeah, walk them through resources. I want to make sure we're very clear on how to add resources to each marketing dashboard.
Okay. So, but this is stuff that she's added or that we've added, so you can see across. I just want to finish this out. Same with ads, ad messaging. So I think as we start moving forward, if we can start populating this information, we can then have the clients come in here and look, say approved, and then make changes. Oh, perfect. But yeah, let's go over here and we'll show you how to do resources. Sharing the right tab, thank you. And so with resources, you can do a new, and then if you want to start typing or open it up, we'll do test, depending on what it is. We do have a few options here, but ideally I think the big thing is the resource type. because then that kind of gives people, like I've picked guide quite a bit. We had Pro Partner Wealth give us like a site map. And so for me, I was like, well, that's a guide, I feel like. So I put that in there. And then depending on if it's logos, media assets, promotional material, you have these different options. So let's just do documents. And then you can either add a file, like where it actually, you can physically upload it to Notion. And like I said, don't be scared. You can put as much as you would like in there. Depending on the resources, I think depending on the resource, you can either tie it just to the marketing project or to the bucket, meaning if we're doing web as well, it might be useful to have that resource on the website. So, just make your best judgment on those. And then that should, if we go back, it will then populate. Oh yeah, Jared and I both like the little icons, so this could be helpful as well to come in here and it shows your most recent. And if it is beneficial, if you guys would like, I do have client logos here. So if you guys would like those, that just kind of helps as like a quick look. Oh, it's a Google Drive, or that's for Novo Legal. Just to kind of have that in there. I know it's little things, but it honestly, I like it. It makes it look nice. All right, let's see what else. What were the other topics we wanted to discuss? Features. Oh, okay, yes, I wanted to go over comments. So if we are here in a meeting, let's go to recurring. No, I don't think we've had one there yet. Kickoff call. What is something that if we're taking a meeting with the client and you guys aren't part of it, what we can do is come in here and our notes will be, call notes, focus on. And so we can do one of two things. Like for focus, maybe I want, Adam to check that or CJ to update that. All you have to do is come here and say, CJ, and then make your little note, text, and then I can send that to him. And then once he can either comment, and this will stay highlighted until that topic has been resolved. And so then it's resolved and it's off the dashboard. But I find that very helpful because, me as a person that's taking notes, I want to reach out to you guys and double check that information. So I'll tag Jared, I'll tag Adam, or hey, will you guys update this? And also we will be putting some of those notes within general as well. The part up here that we do on the Monday, that's the kickoff, the Monday meetings, for the SEO roundup, but just so you guys are aware of that. And then the other one we wanted to talk about was turn into feature, which I found to be very beneficial because I didn't know this until Jared showed me like literally a couple days ago. So if you're typing or adding notes somewhere, and sometimes it can kind of be finicky about like if it's a bullet point or a task, and then you type or below it, what you can do is highlight it or come over here, not highlight, click this little 6 dots over here. And if you turn into, it can be a bullet point, it can be anything that you would like, but turning into I thought to be very beneficial, especially during the note process. So I wanted to show you guys that as well. Do you guys have any questions over what I've covered so far? Or want me to go over anything? No?
I have a request.
Yeah.
So with Oster Jewelers, currently we're focusing on optimizing their Klaviyo, which is their CRM for Shopify. And I would love for you to set up like a shared doc that we can run that project for Klaviyo and leave all the notes there. Because with her spam and everything like that, some of the notes have kind of gotten lost and just they've been in the Slack channel, but I wanted to make a document to keep track of all the Klaviyo stuff. So if you could show the best way to do that, that'd be awesome.
What would you think? Do you think doing it
Yeah, we could just create once we get that dashboard set up in there, Grace, we could just in the notes hub, kind of like how we have strategy, the account activity notes, we could just create a new one and just have a running Klaviyo note doc, essentially.
Did that make sense what he was explaining? Because I can
So
walk
when
you
we-
through
so when
there.
we set up Oster
Yeah,
Jewelers.
just on the direction.
Yeah,
Oh, sorry. Just on the direction on where you would add that note stock.
but you're talking about right here, correct?
Go to the notes, so show them.
Okay, yeah, I'm just want to confirm. So unfortunately, I've not updated Oscar yet, so I'm gonna actually switch over to Kate
Yeah, go to that.
and show you kind of where we're thinking about for those notes to live.
Just minimize it. Okay, go down.
Are you talking about this part?
No.
No, okay.
Maybe we don't have it set up for K yet. Oh, we don't have the notes set up for her yet.
So,
Go to K-Cos.
Keikos, okay. Yeah, and this is what I'm doing is to get all of this updated across the board for everyone.
So essentially, we could just go down to the notes here, we could put new
Okay, which would be
right there. Audio,
Fabio. I have no idea to spell that.
sure.
Okay, we'll figure that
There's an I.
out. I know.
So yeah, you could just do Klaviyo, master notes.
We'll add this. I'll add this to Oscar, but just to show you.
And then you would put the category, we would just put general.
Should I create one?
So then you would just leave that for now. So then down here, keep going. We could create like a template, or you could create whatever you want. Just go back. Great, so we could do whatever you want here setup wise to like keep track of all these notes, but we could just use this as like a Google Doc essentially. And or add drop downs, toggles, however you want to like keep track of those notes.
Kind of
Essentially just put them in there and then.
like these two,
there we
right?
go.
Oh, yeah, I can pull it back up.
Okay, yeah. So then, yeah, then that could just be where everyone puts their notes moving forward in that page. Would something like that work?
Yeah, I think so too. And so I would just add the people who would contribute to that.
Yeah, you could just put the users there on the right side and or in the properties when you open it up.
And so we can customize it to Grace if you, why did that Grace? For like this, no,
No, that's great.
I just wanted to show you how the layout could be.
So this is for Adam's account strategy. We pull in all those strategy sections from the document. We have like ideas, action items, I pull in reports, recent meetings, so he can take a look at those when he's working on the strategy. So we're going to do something similar to this, Garrett, for recurring ad creative, and then something similar for copywriting. Same thing.
Okay.
Like when we have these situations, like we can set these dashboards up however we want, and it can kind of be its own living thing.
And how you would like to view it too, because we might think of something different. So if you want to get together, or we can walk through different examples and then try it. And if you don't find it very beneficial, we can update it, and also then we can make a template. So if you're using that type of something for another client, you can then just select that template, and then it'll just populate that empty, and then you can fill in as you need be. So.
Sweet.
Cool. I will delete that real fast. Okay, let me go back to the notes. I showed you the different resources. Okay, and we talked about the naming cadence for tasks and emails, just to make sure that it's the client, as you can see here, the client name, and then whatever the topic is here, because it's pulled different places, it just makes it easier. I know it's kind of redundant. I know we're in here, but if we're, somewhere else or looking at your personal dashboard, it doesn't always say. It might just say account strategy.
Yeah, just look at how everything else is named and set up and follow that accordingly, right? Look at how other tasks, other notes, stuff like that. That's how we want to name things. I think the only other thing I think that we really should cover before we wrap up is so we talked about resources.
Talked about notes. We showed them what we're doing with the marketing projects. He's got, I think, like 6 of those done, and I need to finish the rest. And that's my goal for the next couple days.
Maybe we could review web maintenance requests one more time.
Yeah.
We'll go over that and then talk about the VA University.
Oh, that's a
And
good
we'll
call.
wrap up.
Let's see. Okay, so web maintenance task, we'll just do that here because this one's pretty up to date. So, and this is for anything, if you're in a call or you can put a task, as long as it's assigned to the right marketing project, it'll then populate within this as well.
So then show them where to find the web hosting maintenance clients dashboard.
Yes. Web
So it's
hosting.
in place.
Yeah. I think I had it favorited. Here we go.
So I'm actually working on it right now.
Oh, nice. Yeah, so this is hosting and maintenance dashboard. And if you guys would like, I have it favorited here, but also in our workspace, it's under VIA lists at VIA, and you can come in here, click, and go here. So, but to add this, if we have a client come in and we need to update something, we'll test it. Open it. And if you're not sure who is working on that, like who would be in charge of the web maintenance and hosting, I think that should be in the dashboard, correct?
Just Tristan should be the one
Okay.
almost every time, but yeah, if you can check the dashboard, default Tristan.
Okay, yeah. And that's for any kind of task. If you're not quite sure who it needs to be assigned to, I know for Sean, as he's an account manager, he might assign certain things to certain people via this way. And the way he can see who's in charge of it is by going and seeing who is responsible. Let me come back up here.
Yeah, that goes across the board for ad assets, for copy, for anything that needs to be sent to like an account manager. Go look in the marketing dashboard, see who the account manager is, and then send it to them.
Okay, so we're back over here. And so web maintenance, we selected that type. And like I said, there's a few different ones in here. So feel free to, scroll and make your best judgment on what you think. Sign responsibility, I'm just gonna do me, but it would normally be Tristan for web. And then you can make a note here, depending on what you would like, set the due date, make sure you select the marketing project, because then he knows what it's tied to. We'll just click Kate for the test. And down here, then you can pick, so like, depending on what the topic is, if it's a web general request, if it's a maintenance, I think maintenance is down here. No, I'm not seeing it.
For what?
For web maintenance,
It's
just, I mean, just general.
General
Okay.
task or web general request.
Okay. And also too, just so you guys know, if you select the wrong template, all you need to do here is go and highlight all of that and delete. Let me get that all highlighted. Delete, and then you can pick your different template, because I know sometimes you're like, oh, that's not quite what I wanted, or the layout isn't what you'd like. So that's definitely an option. So general task, general reminder, depending on what it is, there's different. Click that one. Go in here, you can do your list of to-dos, any kind of notes, resources if they have photos. We could also, should we pull in the resources into that?
No.
No, okay. But yeah, that's just to do. And then it should show up under Kate. If we go to her dashboard. We'll scroll down to tasks. And then here, maintenance, and here, this is something to just be aware of. See how this has like a little, I think it's a siren, I'm not quite sure. And that's because there's not a date assigned. So I'm seeing here recurring ad creative for Garrett. There is no date. So when would you like me to assign that for him?
What?
This didn't have a date on it for setup recurring. Okay.
Just
Just end of the week, okay. But just so you guys know, and then it'll change to this scheduled view. So if you are in here and you see this little like needs date siren, that just means it wasn't assigned.
Or it wasn't rescheduled, or it's overdue, yeah, just.
Well, no, that specific view, because then it needs to be assigned a date. And then it'll say scheduled, and then depending if it ends up being overdue, it'll show overdue. So yeah, that's just kind of that. And then like, once again, all of this information with tasks can be viewed in your personal dashboard. So we just want it to be where you can come in here and look and see, okay, my tasks, these are overdue. I tried to call her a million times, but I haven't been able to get through. I know we worked on a proposal, but I think that, you know, he's still wanting to talk to Rich. And then these are my scheduled, or my reoccurring, and then these are my scheduled. So I need to look at this and say, okay, I have to send this meeting out, these notes from this meeting, and test, that's a test. And then these are complete. I think we could archive that, but just allow you guys to have one place to look at everything that you have going on. And I know that there is different, we can create different filter options. I know eventually we are going to add, is that okay if I share your to-do list?
Yeah.
Okay. I wanted to show you guys this, and are we ready to put this across the board? So I kind of presented this to Jared about ideas, and this is something that I think we're gonna, you know, put on your guys' personal dashboards to allow you to have for you specifically to create your own tasks. So account management, operations, I won't show more, but this is just a way for you to organize versus like a notebook, because I know most of us do.
This would essentially be your own personal to-do list, and then, you know, the VIA task below, so if you scroll down a little bit.
Yeah.
Would just be all the VIA universe tasks, so anything that's in the VIA system, recurring, you know, anything that's important enough to be created as a task, will just get added in there. But the thing above has been very helpful for me to kind of take off my to-do list that I usually put in a notebook or whatever else. I can set tags, I can set deadlines, I can do all kinds of stuff. So.
Like future on radar, because, you know, for thinking of things that you want to work on.
And then you guys can, you know, change these tags however you want. So if you click into a tag here,
I'm just into it.
into a tag.
Oh.
So like just call
Confused.
it.
Oh, here, yeah, rename.
No. That's
Oh, the tag, sorry.
Yeah, so if you click into one of those and say you put like test, then you could have a new one, right? So then create test. So then now, if I wanted to create a new view where I only saw the test ones, I would just duplicate one of those filters. So go ahead and do that. Duplicate.
Yeah.
Do account management, duplicate.
And then right click, duplicate,
Yeah,
comes up,
create a test. Boom.
to change any of the
Now, then
properties,
you just get out of there and then change the filter.
and then go here, filter,
Yep.
um,
And then
Tag.
would be test.
remove, oh, and then
Okay, right there.
tag, test. And then it would be the one.
Now it's only going to show the ones that have test. So that's just an example of how you'll be able to use it. We'll get that implemented over the next month. Obviously, we covered a lot today, guys. Cutting it loose here. Does anyone have any questions? I know we've run through a lot here, but is there anything else specifically you guys want to see moving forward? Things that you guys want us to address moving forward? Cool.
I had a question on that issue I was having with accessing the strategy tab.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's happened for anybody else. Did you figure out what was causing that?
I think that was just a bug, but yeah, I figured it out. I think we should. be-
Okay.
Okay.
So like typically could two people be editing
Yeah,
something that's synced though?
should be. I don't know why that was happening, honestly.
Okay.
Yeah,
Cool.
we have had it where him and I were both adding something and sometimes it kind of just, I don't want to say glitches, but it has a weird little thing and then you'll see it. Like, it's like a little delay. So, because we were both like typing the exact same middle at the same time. Okay. Do you guys have anything else that you'd like us to cover in these last few minutes or have any questions? I know we covered a lot. I'll send this video out. Stop actually recording. Okay, guys. Well, thank you so much for your time today. I know we covered a lot. If you come across anything or have any questions, please feel free to reach out. Jared is definitely the Notion master.